I want to talk about fiction with a twist writing tasks. They go for 5 weeks and they ask people to write 1 to 2 very high quality paragraphs and not to feel worried about writing a whole story. So I was really interested in writing these tasks because I noticed that good writers scatter clues in their stories that readers follow. And I thought that it would be very, very good fun to ask young writers to scatter clues in their stories so that other readers can follow their clues. So I was interested in building a bridge between reading and writing. And so one of the interesting things about this resource is that I actually got permission from publishers to collect some examples of very good writing from novels, so that we could share these examples where writers scatter clues for readers to follow. So in week 1, we are requiring writers to do a character sketch where we meet a main character for the first time. But of course, the great thing is that there are examples provided of character sketches to give you the idea. Week 2, you write a scene showing a character in action. Week 3, you focus on a flashback to an important memory. You might be holding a toy from your childhood in your hands, or a precious photograph, something like that, and you flash back to an important memory. Week 4, the dialogue that you write shows a power dynamic where somebody has a lot more power than the other person. Week 5, you're writing about the big messages about life that you would like to communicate. These big messages are called themes, and writers have them scattered throughout their novels. So this is your opportunity just to say straight from the heart, 10 things I know are true. So we actually had as our week 5 task, when I did this on a blog, our actual week 5 task was a short story. And we had a fantastic blog author called Deborah Abella, and she gave us 3 story starters, and students who participated on the blog had to have a crack at writing a short story which used the skills that the writers had learned over the 5-week period. So use the skills of having a character in action, use the skills of having some dialogue that really showed about power, and basically brought together the skills over the 5 weeks. So I mentioned earlier that the strength of this writing resource is that you get to read a lot of really good writers using their techniques to hook us in. So here's a character sketch from The Remarkable Secret of Aurelie Bonhoeffer by Deborah Abella, in which we meet a guy for the first time. And of course, what Deborah Abella is doing here is scattering a lot of clues that tell us something about the inside of Lucian B. Crook. I mean, there's a pun there as well because his surname is Crook, so we can take a really good guess that he's a bad guy. But there are some other things here that also give away a little bit about that. I asked students who were writing on this blog to make their introductions about themselves be a lot like a character sketch. I wanted them to have a writer's voice and give us a sense of who they are through a character sketch style of writing. So this is Andrea introducing herself, and it's a little bit like a character sketch. And then here's Andrea's actual character sketch about Alfie. And the thing is, before Andrea started writing her character sketch, she had made a decision about Alfie's personality and what he was like inside, because she was going to make sure to scatter clues about Alfie's inside all over her character sketch. So that's really what you do when you're a good writer. You scatter a lot of clues for readers to follow. And she's done that with Alfie so that we can decide what kind of a character Alfie really is. So here's Matt's introduction about himself. And again, he's written it a bit like a character sketch so we can get a sense of his personality. And here is Matt's character sketch that he wrote about his main character, Trent. And he had decided in advance what he thought Trent was like, so that then every detail that he wrote pointed towards what Trent was like. So that's what you're doing with a character sketch. You're not just saying someone has brown eyes and a blue shirt on. You're actually making the clothing that they wear and the way that they move and their habits actually express outwardly what they are like as people on the inside.